What do you think's the biggest issue with women for men?
I'll just say what men have told me. It's the OnlyFans, it's the porn, it's the sleeping with a bunch of different men, it's high body counts, it's girls who just like to go out every weekend and
Most
drink and
everybody.
go home with random men and don't know what's happening, with that, this, that, or the other because they're just all over the place. Either they're drunk all the time, they're on drugs all the time. Just self-centered, kind of selfish women.
Yeah, all of that, like extreme promiscuity, especially if it's advertised. Like if a guy can look at your social media and see and like think like, what would my mom say if she like knew this is the woman I'm bringing home, that I'm going to put a ring on? What would my friends say? So like promiscuity, especially when it's advertised on social media, is a huge issue for men. It's probably like the number one reason that a guy will keep a woman in a certain box, like nothing serious with this chick, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've
Catherine's
seen
got a
them
question
do
here.
that.
Go.
I do. So again, to bring up some things that possibly might correlate, yes, I would agree that all of those are issues. But I do sometimes wonder, again, is this our certain time frame in society that, people are experiencing this? Or is it only really being talked about because we do have the opportunity to communicate this via social media versus like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, all of those like previous periods, where people could have been partying, but what there wasn't necessarily something to document it 24/7 with like, camera, like cell phones, things of that nature. And then, internet to blast it out. Like even with my sister, when she was older, her biggest hit was the AIM chat box, where it just wasn't something that was talked about as much.
Well,
I
even
mean,
before the current social media era, like
Mm-hmm.
men, like even when I was growing up, we knew who like the town bicycle was, right? Like everyone
Mm-hmm.
knew this is the woman that slept with everyone, right? And guys
Right.
wouldn't take her serious, right?
But what
So
if you're traveling and you have no idea because like you're in a local nightclub? You have no idea because you're traveling there. You can't just be like, "Hey man, that one over there, does she come here a lot?" You know?
right. So I think that's why like women going on girls' trips, women that are well traveled, a lot of guys aren't interested in women like that because they can step into a different city, be
Mm-hmm.
promiscuous, come home and nobody knows. So as soon as guys hear like girls trip to Cancun, like I'm a world traveler, whatever. She's got pictures in all these different cities. As soon as the guy sees that, he's like, this is not going to be serious.
what about men who
And
have
if
guys' nights?
What about guys' nights?
If women can't have girls' trips and things, then what's your thoughts on a guys' night or
Right,
guys' trips?
but a man that's promiscuous doesn't bother you like it does a woman that's promiscuous to men.
But I'm
No,
saying, are
man,
you
that's
saying single
no.
people or are you saying people in relationships?
Well, so let's go down this road with Catherine. So, Catherine, you think that a promiscuous man bothers you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, are you lining up to date virgin men?
No, I just want some. I personally believe in loyalty, and that is something that like I cherish and I highly value. And so I'm looking for that in someone. I don't necessarily need a virgin person, but I mentioned this on like the previous podcast where I would also like to date a man that has not been with a lot of women. Or, if you did do that, keep that in your 20s and then you've had some time to just kind of be alone, like not dating, focusing, grinding, building up your financial profile, whatever, and then like then I could possibly be like, oh, okay, well, that's an exception. You've had a break, you're ready, like you're genuinely ready to settle down now. But if I find out the guy that's trying to date me has like slept with like five women in the last month, that's a no for me. I'm not going to do that, because I'm not going to get into a relationship with someone like that because it's always going to be on my mind that they're going to be promiscuous, they're going to be sneaky, they're going to cheat on me, they're going to lie until they die. Like, no, I very much value like honesty, loyalty, and transparency and communication.
Right, but
But yeah, no.
the guy who's been with, so let's say a guy's 35 and you find
Mhm.
out that since he was 18, he's been with 50 women. he's most likely way more attractive to you than a guy that's a virgin at 35.
Okay.
Either way, it's just also some number that I don't necessarily want to know or need to know, because I feel like so many people can lie. Or I was tricked one time because someone asked me like my number, and then I said it, and then they were appalled because there's some sort of thing out in the world where it's like you times it by 3, then you add 6, and then I was like, what the actual F? Like, okay, if
Pretty
anyone
good
asks me that
formula,
question,
guys.
no, if anyone asks me that in the future now, I'd be like, no, I'm just gonna say like between 1 and 1 million. Like, you don't get to know the answer. But it was such bogus because I asked him the same question. He was like, no, because some sort of like crackpot, like thinking. I don't even know. Where he's like, but men, like, they normally like say a number and it's half less. And I'm like, this is all I can't, like, people probably honestly don't tell the real number. You know, like most people genuinely probably lie about that.
Yeah, so
I'd rather
women,
just not
typically
ask.
women only count relationships. They don't count hookups in their body count. And men take the number and multiply it by 3. So women divide it
And
by
add
3, men
6.
multiply it by 3. That's how it goes typically. So
I
Juliet,
can't handle this.
this is why, like, does that make some sense? This is why, like, men view girls' trips differently than women view boys' trips, right? Because like men don't want, like, men value like a woman that's not promiscuous almost above everything else. But women don't really care that much. Like, women want a man to have at least some experience, right? Like, if he's a virgin, a woman's like, I don't know, I can't do this.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be with somebody whose version of having a good time is going out with guys and going to strip clubs and being around half naked women and everything else, unless, like, if you go together, that's one thing. I don't really, that's not my vibe. I don't think that strip clubs are somewhere couples or, you know, people belong in general. But to me, that's what guys trips normally consist of, especially because that's the things I've heard anyways, is, you know, it's just a bunch of females around you anyways. Same kind of concept with bachelor parties and bachelorettes. I don't quite see the point of being with the opposite sex the night before you're supposed to marry the person that you claim to love and want to love for the rest of your life. That doesn't really add up in my head. So, I mean, I would care to know if a man I'm interested in had a body count that was god awfully higher than mine, because I wouldn't want a guy that every female has had. Kind of the same saying, like how Catherine was saying about in like times ago. Well, everyone, I've always heard, why would you buy the cow when you get the milk for free? Like, if someone's just loose, regardless of whether they're a man or a woman, then that does also lose value regardless.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.